Hello and welcome to the 4th Empires tutorial. In this tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to do the grid sizes, make the props line up a little bit better, and I'm going to go over some extremely basic lighting for the maps to make them just appear a little bit nicer. So what we're going to do is you're going to notice that the props stay in line with the grid. You always want the props to be in line with the grid. If they are ever off grid, it can cause errors and it can crash and make your map not compile. That is really bad. You do not want that. So, to prevent this and make it so that way it's not so blocky in movement, you can go ahead and come over here. In this you'll see smaller grid and larger grid. When you do smaller, it allows the movements to become a lot more fine. You can scroll in. You can move it down just a little bit at a time, or you can do giant movements like that, and it seems a lot more fluid. If you do larger grid, it allows you to make much broader movements quicker. This is exactly what we did for when we made these displacements. We had a grid at this size. You usually want the grids to be decent size, because when it gets to smaller sizes, it's harder to line them up, as you have to scroll in extremely far and you don't get to see the big picture of what's going on. So, for this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make the props line up with the grid and at extremely fine detail. So, again, you just have to make sure that the grid is extremely small, and then go ahead and start moving them around. This is how we get trees to stop seeing like they're floating, like you can see right here. Just scroll in here. We'll lower it a bit. There we go. It's in the ground. This one's in the ground. This one's in the ground. And well, we'll do this one in the ground as well. And then that'll be all for right now. So now we're gonna come to that one's bad. We're gonna come to basic lighting. So lighting is generated from one source on the map. Basically, what's going to happen is you're going to want to come back to the entity tool, and you just want to go over here and go to light environment, and just go ahead and plop one of those down just on any piece of terrain. And then you're going to want to go ahead, scroll in, and just lift it up with the selection tool, and just bring it up to the center of the map. You can see it right there. So we'll go ahead, double click on it, and you're going to see it's light environment. So for this one right here, the pitch yaw roll, we're going to click point at. If point at means that's the direction the light will be casting, so shadows will be, the shadow will be on this side of the rock, this side of the tree, this side of the tree, this side of the tree. It's not local to where this entity is. It's just pointing in that direction, so all shadows will be cast in that direction. So we're going to come down here, pitch again. You don't want to mess with that too much, but we will go down to brightness. So brightness, you can tamper around with this. This is just the different lighting levels at which the game shows up. So we can go in here and we can also pick a color. So you can click on any of these, mess with the levels, and I'm going to go for a nice little sunset. So we're going to choose, you know, a nice orangish tangerine color right there. Click OK, and you'll see it changes right there. And we're going to change this to 450. Now we're not going to touch the ambient, the brightness HDR, the brightness scale, the ambient HDR, or the ambient scale HDR, but we can mess with the sun spread angle. This is basically how much the light is diffused, and basically the more you do this, the brighter the map will be, because the light will be more diffused. So we're just going to go ahead and choose 3. So once that's done, light is now in your level. You now have a level where you can spawn in, and I'm just going to show you some of the basic buildings as well in this tutorial. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to come over here to this one single plane. Again, you're going to want to go ahead and increase the grid size of the grid squares. Get it lined up. We're just going to go ahead and drag this around. And you want to make sure the displacements are not running into the edge, so let's go ahead and increase the size of that. And we'll go ahead, shift click on all of this, And we're just going to sew it together. Or, sorry, that's control click, not shift click. My apologies. Now you can see there's no little cracks in it. It all appears fine. Here, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how to place a start barracks down. Or, yeah. So here, just type in barracks, and you're going to see emp barracks, emp building, and F barracks. Click it, click, and you'll see the barracks is spawned in. You're going to want to lower it. There you go. That's how you spawn in pre-placed buildings like the barracks. So, there is your basic tutorial on a little bit more advanced with props, some basic lighting, and the buildings. The basic buildings. So, thank you for watching, and we're going to go ahead, save this as emp tutorial 4. We're going to give it a nice little compile. Just some fast lighting. It doesn't have to be normal. Gonna go ahead, load up. Skip the intro. No one likes that intro. Used to have music to it. Gonna go ahead, go to create, and we'll play Hammer Tutorial 4. And hopefully this works. Should. We didn't do anything that should mess it up. There you go. Now you have some basic lighting. Again, this is extremely basic, so it's kind of bad. But, yeah. You'll see. There's no shadows because you have to do a normal compile for that. Just the fast compile just makes a light source and makes light cast onto the objects. There you can see this side is shaded, this side is shaded, this side is shaded, which is in tune with us pointing it at that rock. It's shaded on this side. So as you can see, thank you for watching, and I'll include this in the tutorial, and just a basic recap of what we did. Went over a little bit more advanced prop placement, went over basic lighting, and how to get pre-placed buildings into the map. Thank you for watching, and I hope you watch the next one. Thanks.